I crocheted for years before I learned how to knit. And for a long time I did want to learn knitting, but it always intimidated me and I was really comfortable with crochet. But as someone who has crossed over to the other side, I'm here to tell you it's not that hard, and I'm going to show you the absolute basics of how to get started with knitting in 5 minutes from the perspective of someone who learned how to crochet first. So starting with materials, you're going to need some yarn, some knitting needles, and also probably a cup of tea. I recommend starting with some really basic worsted weight yarn that isn't fuzzy or has any kind of interesting texture, just something really basic. And for needles, you just need some straight knitting needles. Right here, I'm just showing you what circular needles look like, just so you're aware. They have a little piece of plastic, usually in between, to attach the two needles, and that is just so that you have room to hold bigger projects that you're working on, like blankets. We're going to begin by casting on. The way that I begin my cast on is very similar to how I do a slip knot on my crochet hook. I just wrap the yarn around my fingers, usually 2 fingers, so there should be 2 loops on top and an X in the back. I thread my needle under the loop closer to my fingertips and then push it over the loop closer to my hand, and then over and under, do a flip so that it goes under both loops. Then I take that and pull it off my hands and then pull it taut onto the knitting needle. Now casting on in knitting is basically the equivalent of working your chain in crochet. So for the rest of your cast-ons, this is what you're going to do. Wrap the yarn around 2 fingers with the yarn connected to your needle going behind your 2 fingers. Thread your needle under and up, the yarn in front of your fingers, and then pull the yarn off your fingers and taut onto the needle. So again, put your needle under and up, pull your yarn off of your fingers and onto the needle. Under and up, and then onto your needle. Under and behind, and then pull the yarn off your fingers and slide onto your needle. So I'm just holding my excess yarn between my thumb and my ring finger here. There's a lot of different ways that you could do this, but this is the way that I do it. As I said earlier, the amount of stitches you cast onto your needle will create the width of your project, so you can just cast on as many as you would like to start out to practice with. When you finish casting on, hold that needle with all your stitches that you've cast on in your left hand and your other needle in your right hand. And we are going to now do the knit stitch. And as we knit down all these cast on stitches, all our work will move from the left needle to the right needle. Take the needle in your right hand and insert it across and behind the needle in your left hand. You